My favorite class in primary school was art class. Let me just start there. So when we did a body mapping exercise, it was one of my favorite as well. I think I mentioned that before. To be told to sit in a corner and draw and color, that's my favorite thing to do. So it was interesting because now you have to self-introspect about yourself, how you see yourself versus how the world sees you, and how you would picture that holistically. I'm not the perfect artist, but I had an idea in mind about how the world sees me, and I figured that would be a shell. So I just drew a shell outside of that, and inside I drew a person with curly, kinky hair because I'm an African queer human being. A head wrap, again, African queer human being. I drew clothes in my favorite colors, and that represented comfort for me because comfort means the most. If I can't be comfortable in my clothes, then I'm not dressing up for myself but for other people, and that's a shell, like I said. I think I was intentional in picking my colors as well because purple is my favorite color. Royalty, hello. But apart from that, my drawing was basically me trying to say, as simple of a human being as I am unique in my own skin, and there's not much that anyone can do to define me if I can't define myself. I threw in some flowers in there because I love flowers, and if there's any definition of me as in form of drawing, then there's supposed to be flowers in there. But yeah, that was an interesting exercise for me. Emotions I felt when I was doing the exercise were nervousness at first because we were supposed to show them to other people after we were done. And that was kind of nerve-wracking, but oh well, I guess I got over my performance anxiety and it was calming, it was soothing, it was a relaxing process, it's something I enjoy. And afterwards, tapping into a creative side is something I realized, you know what, maybe drawing isn't really my thing, but there are other ways of creatively expressing myself that I can use to show how genuine and how real my identity is, my individuality is as well. So, yeah.
In doing the body map, I still remember that I was one of the most confused participants during that exercise. I kept on asking Uchi, what is it exactly that you were supposed to do? Because somehow to me, I just didn't understand. And later on, as I worked on it, I got to understand that the reason why I failed to understand it first, it was because there is something which I've never really thought about. You know, as queer people, we're always confined in this small space, this dark space whereby you just want to hide yourself away from the world. And at times you don't get the time to actually question why you want to do that. There are a lot of things which we are often ashamed of about ourselves, things which we never really question and try to interrogate and all that. So I feel like that body map exercise actually got me to that space whereby I actually interrogate myself and try to self-introspect and inspect myself generally and try to question some things about myself. And then in that process, I got to appreciate that there is a certain way that I view myself, and there is the perception of the society. There are differences and there are similarities, so which is why within my body map I actually drew two rectangles which actually intersect at some point. And then in the intersection area, that's when I actually included all the characteristics. Actually, I included all the characteristics that the society and myself are actually where we're in sort of agreement about where an ideal me is supposed to be. So yeah, it was quite touching to see that there are a lot of things that the society expects from me that I'm not probably living up to, and maybe that can be a disappointment to some of them, but at the same time I was very grateful that I felt like I'm a strong person after really doing that whole thing, because I noticed that there are a lot of positive things that are that are embodied in me and within my character and within my person generally. And yeah, after that exercise, I feel like I got to appreciate myself a little bit more, because often we tend to really punish ourselves because we feel like we're not worthy, we're not fitting, we're not, yeah. But after that, I got to really say, this is who I am, and I'm quite grateful that this is who I am, because I feel like I'm worthy. I'm smart, I'm empowered, and I'm independent, and yeah, I can do this. So it's such a great exercise, and I would really recommend it for anyone. It was really, really, really great.
When I did the body map, I felt like I wasn't ready, because I was walking in a path that I do not feel very comfortable walking in, or a path that I did not feel comfortable walking in because of the dysphoria that I had at that moment. I remember I drew a picture of a person, but who's not really the person I am, but a person I felt represents me better. And I remember I drew something above my head which represented what society thinks of me, of what or what society wants me to be like. So drawing that picture, I felt like I was going through something that I always go through in my head, trying to figure out who I am and what society wants me to be. But the process led me to introspect, because I felt like if I did not walk the path, then I'll continue walking like I'm moving my both feet at the same time, which is not practical, right? But I feel that this process led me to pay more attention, because after the process, I looked myself in the mirror, something that I did not do before. And I even discovered that I had gained a lot of weight, something that I had not realized, because I had disconnected myself from my body because of the dysphoria. And I know that I haven't really shedded much weight, but it's a bit different now. From that moment, because now I'm paying more attention, because now I feel like I am facing myself in the way that I should have been facing myself, because of that process that I had. And I feel like if I hadn't done that process, maybe I would have been that person who's still thinking that I should disconnect myself from my body because it's not the body that I want to be in.